What if the world is not what it seems? What if powerful forces are hiding the truth from you? That question has haunted humanity for centuries, and it is the beating heart of conspiracy theories. They do not just entertain us, they shape how we see reality, influence our choices, and even divide societies. But here's the real twist. The reason we fall for them is not about the stories themselves, it is about the psychology inside us. Conspiracy theories thrive because they meet deep psychological needs: certainty, safety, and belonging. People who feel powerless or disconnected are more vulnerable. Real resilience comes not from fact-checking alone, but from strengthening critical thinking and emotional security. That is why understanding conspiracy theories is not just about debunking myths. It is about uncovering the hidden drivers of human behavior.
Welcome back to Critical Thinking Secrets, the channel that gets you to think, well, critically.
Imagine a young adult at a desk, staring at a corkboard covered in strings and notes, trying to connect the dots. That is the essence of conspiracy thinking, the belief that hidden groups secretly control events. Strange examples abound. Some insist the Earth is flat, despite centuries of evidence. Others claim the moon landing never happened, or that the 9/11 attacks were an inside job. These stories ignore facts, but they stick because they offer simple answers to complex realities. Historically, societies have been swept up by false conspiracies. In the 17th century, the Salem witch trials saw entire communities convinced that women were secretly working with the devil. In the 19th century, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion spread across Europe, falsely claiming a Jewish plot to control the world. During the Cold War, many believed fluoridated water was a communist plot, a claim later debunked but still influential. Yet not all conspiracies are false. The Watergate scandal proved that a US president's team had conspired to cover up political crimes. The Tuskegee syphilis study revealed that government doctors withheld treatment from black men for decades, causing immense suffering. These examples remind us that skepticism is healthy, but it must be grounded in evidence. Even in ancient Rome, conspiracies shaped history. The Catiline conspiracy in 63 BCE saw a senator rallying disaffected aristocrats and veterans to overthrow the Republic. The Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE sparked rumors that Emperor Nero had started it, later blaming Christians to deflect suspicion. And of course, Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE was the result of a real conspiracy among senators. In South Africa, during apartheid, the government weaponized fear through slogans like "Swart Gevaar," the so-called Black Danger. White citizens were told that the black majority posed an existential threat, a narrative designed to justify segregation and oppression. But propaganda did not end with apartheid. Today, parties like the ANC and EFF push a different narrative, that if black citizens vote for a white-led party, apartheid will return. It is a reversal of Swart Gevaar, but just as propaganda-driven, creating further tensions and divisions. These examples remind us that conspiracy theories do not exist in a vacuum. When people have lived through deception, exploitation, or propaganda, they are more vulnerable to new conspiracies. The soil has already been tilled by history. When life feels chaotic, conspiracy theories offer neat explanations. They turn randomness into a story, giving people a sense of certainty and control. After the Great Depression, for example, conspiracy theories about bankers and secret cabals flourished because people craved certainty in chaos. Believing that someone is behind this feels safer than admitting events are random. During the COVID-19 pandemic, instead of accepting the randomness of a virus, some claimed it was deliberately engineered in labs or spread by 5G towers. These stories gave people a false sense of control in the face of fear. Conspiracies also create communities. Believers feel part of a special group that knows the truth, fulfilling the human desire to belong. This is why extremist movements grow so quickly. They offer not just a story, but a community where people feel connected and important. united against a common enemy. These examples show how misinformation, indoctrination, fear, groupthink, and belonging are manipulated to drive hatred and loyalty. The real hook of conspiracy theories is not the wild story itself. It is how these stories fill emotional and mental gaps. They provide certainty when life feels uncertain, safety when the world feels dangerous, and belonging when people feel isolated. Our brains are not neutral processors. We all carry biases that shape how we see the world, and these biases make conspiracy theories feel convincing. Confirmation bias pushes us to seek information that supports what we already believe, while ignoring evidence to the contrary. If you think a government is corrupt, you'll notice every headline that confirms it, and dismiss those that don't. Pattern recognition leads us to see connections where none exist. A shadow becomes a plot, a coincidence becomes a plan. This is why people can look at random events and weave them into a grand narrative. Proportionality bias convinces us that big events must have big causes. After Princess Diana's death, many refused to accept it was a tragic accident. To them, just a car crash felt too small an explanation, so elaborate plots were invented. These biases are not flaws of a few individuals. They are universal tendencies. And when combined with fear or uncertainty, they make conspiracy theories feel almost irresistible. Some personalities lean naturally towards suspicion and distrust of authority, making them fertile ground for conspiracies. When institutions are seen as corrupt or untrustworthy, people with these traits are more likely to believe hidden plots are at work. Others have a strong need for uniqueness. They want to feel special, as if they see what others cannot. The Flat Earth movement thrives on this need. Believers feel they are part of a rare group who know the truth, while the rest of the world is deceived. Paranoia also plays a role. People who constantly fear manipulation or betrayal are more vulnerable to conspiracy theories. Low trust in institutions, combined with paranoia, creates fertile soil for these beliefs to grow. These traits don't mean someone is doomed to conspiratorial thinking, but they do explain why certain individuals are more susceptible. When combined with social upheaval or misinformation, personality traits can tip the balance toward belief in even the most extreme theories. Wars, pandemics, and social upheaval create fertile soil for conspiracies. When societies are shaken, people look for simple explanations to make sense of chaos. During the French Revolution, rumors of aristocrats hoarding grain fueled riots. These stories weren't based on evidence, but they gave people a target for their anger. Today we see similar imbalances in the way conflicts are framed. In the Israel-Palestine debate, much of the world points to Israel's actions as atrocities, while the violence and manipulation of Hamas are often downplayed or ignored. Popular rhetoric takes center stage, and facts are pulled out of context to promote one-sided views. The Russian-Ukraine war is another example. Each side pushes its own narrative, and depending on where you live, you may hear only one version of events. The truth is complex, but conspiracy thinking thrives when people insist there is only one villain and one victim. Even in Venezuela, when Trump took a hard stance against the regime, critics rushed to condemn him without examining the facts of the situation. The narrative became less about Venezuela itself and more about attacking or defending Trump. And now, even artificial intelligence has become a battleground of imbalance. Some claim AI will enslave humanity, others insist it will solve every problem. Healthy debate is rare, replaced by polarized extremes. This mirrors the broader divide between East and West, Western democratic ideals versus Eastern authoritarian models. In South Africa, as elsewhere, one side is painted as always wrong, the other as always right. This black or white thinking ignores the gray areas where truth usually lives. If we continue down this path, further polarization, violence, and even global conflict may be inevitable. Collective psychology, when trapped in groupthink and conspiratorial framing, becomes destructive over the long term. False claims spread faster than corrections. Algorithms feed us more of what we already believe, trapping us in bubbles. Sensational content gets rewarded with clicks, making misinformation more appealing than sober truth. A tragic example of how rhetoric can override balance was the death of Charlie Kirk. He sought to create space for debate and balanced views, yet when he was assassinated, many who claimed to be humanistic mocked and laughed at his death. They had never listened to his speeches, but blindly followed popular rhetoric. This shows how dangerous it can be when people stop questioning and simply echo the crowd. In 2020, conspiracy theories linked 5G towers to COVID-19, sparking arson attacks on telecom infrastructure. When scientists and telecom companies presented clear evidence, the violence slowed, proving that facts can avert harm. Social media doesn't just spread misinformation, it amplifies it. Echo chambers form where people hear only what they already believe. Over time, these bubbles harden into identities, making balanced debate nearly impossible. Resilience starts with critical thinking. Ask yourself, what is the evidence and who benefits from this claim? Media literacy helps us spot unreliable sources and manipulative headlines. In Finland, schools teach media literacy as part of the curriculum, helping students spot fake news before it spreads. This proactive approach builds resilience against conspiratorial thinking. And perhaps most importantly, promoting trust and social connection weakens conspiratorial thinking. Isolation fuels it, while dialogue and community dissolve it. Think of how misinformation about 5G and COVID was slowed when communities came together to share verified facts. Building resilience is not about rejecting skepticism. It is about balancing it with evidence, dialogue, and empathy. When people feel secure, connected, and informed, conspiracies lose their grip. One big question is, why do people believe in conspiracy theories in the first place? The answer often comes down to three needs: certainty, safety, and belonging. Another question is, how do we resist conspiratorial thinking? It is not enough to just fact-check. We need to practice critical thinking, slow down before we share, and build media literacy. You might also wonder, are there common traits among people who believe in conspiracies? Yes. Distrust of authority, a strong need to feel unique, and sometimes paranoia all play a role. And what about social media? Algorithms feed us more of what we already believe, creating echo chambers. That is why debates about Israel and Palestine, Russia and Ukraine, Venezuela, or even AI often feel so polarized online. People are shown only the side that reinforces their existing beliefs. Another tough one. Why do people cling to conspiracies even when the evidence is weak? This is where cognitive dissonance comes in. Admitting you were wrong is painful, so it feels easier to double down than to let go. Finally, we should ask, what is the difference between healthy skepticism and conspiratorial thinking? Skepticism questions evidence and demands proof. Conspiratorial thinking rejects evidence outright, twisting facts to fit the story. Think of Watergate. Skeptics demanded evidence, and when facts emerged, the conspiracy was proven true. Compare that to moon landing denial, where evidence is rejected outright. Conspiracy theories are not just wild stories. They are psychological lifelines for people searching for certainty, safety, and belonging. But once we understand the drivers behind them, we can build resilience. Not by mocking or debunking alone, but by strengthening our minds, our communities, and our ability to think critically. Because the real conspiracy is not out there. It is the tricks our own brains play on us. If we can learn to pause, to question, and to connect with one another, then conspiracies lose their power. And what remains is a healthier, more balanced view of ourselves, our communities, and the world.
And if you want to boost your critical thinking skills, become smarter and make better decisions, I thought you did. Then get the Critical Thinking Toolkit, a powerful resource packed with checklists, mental models, and practical guides to help you avoid mistakes and sharpen your reasoning skills. Stop wasting time on bad decisions and start thinking with clarity. Grab your copy now. Link in the description below. Thanks again for joining us today. Enjoyed this video? Thought so. For a more in-depth analysis, visit our website, www.criticalthinkingsecrets.com, to read the full article.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with our latest weekly release content. We have over 400 videos on our channel too. Help kickstart your critical thinking journey. Also, as an added bonus, just for supporting our channel, you can download our free critical thinking ebook. So go ahead and click the link below. Till next time, keep those critical thinking gears turning.